Hello, everyone. Before we begin today's show, we just want to take a moment to extend our just heartfelt sadness out to the Graz community out there in Austria. The current count for people who have died in the mass shooting is 10. By the time you listen to this podcast, that number might be higher based on the folks who are in the hospital. But our hearts just go out to the families, to the victims, obviously, and we just hope that Austria is able to, put some things in place to ensure that this doesn't happen moving forward. Because thoughts and prayers can only go so far. But again, we feel so bad. We know as Americans what it's like. It's not good for any community anywhere in the world. And so again, our hearts here at Fourth Down Fiasco go out to the Graz community out there in Austria.
Fires, Mike Sims, Walker, knocked down.
Oh my God! Davis is going running all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game.
In trouble, he's going to be sacked. No, gets away. He runs, gets away again, goes to the 40, gets away again.
Jackson takes it himself. Look at him turn back and forth. Oh! He broke his ankles.
I have never seen this before in my life.
Still looking, firing, near corner. It's caught.
Denver, unbelievable.
And welcome to the Fourth Down Fiasco.
Hello and welcome to the Fourth Down Fiasco. My name is Tanner Vinsky. I'm going to be your host today, and with me I have the illustrious Daniel Weber. We are going to be talking about ELF Week 5. We're going to do a quick rundown through all of the games, and then we're going to give away our award winners, and then we're also going to sneak in a little bit of stats talk. Mostly because the games this week, they weren't particularly close, as one could say. And when I mean particularly, they were not close at all, besides the final game of the week. But just so before we get into the show, always remember that we are sponsored by BetStamp. So please go ahead and make a $5 bet on BetStamp. You make sure to use our link. What is it?
Signupexpert.com/fiasco. And I know some people have been making ELF bets on Bet365. The lines come out at like Friday, late at night, I think. So signupexpert.com/fiasco. Download Bet365. Put $10 on whoever's playing against the Cologne Centurions, and you'll probably make some money. But I can't guarantee you that because that's illegal.
But it feels pretty close to a guarantee. So
it's a bad day to be a bookie when they're playing against Cologne.
Yeah. No, trust me. We know a couple of individuals who have been using Bet360 quite a bit over the last few weeks and have been making quite a bit of money. So make sure to listen to what we say because we are indeed the experts. So we are going to help you get some money. And if you lose any money, then tough shit. Sorry.
Yeah, that's your own fault. But
yeah,
might as well talk about Cologne real quick while we're bringing it up. They're just bad.
Cologne? Yeah, they're pretty bad.
Cologne's bad. They lost 57-3 to the Panthers. The Panthers aren't relatively good.
To the Panthers' credit, are also kind of bad. Not a team I have a lot of confidence in.
No, it's weird. From last year, it didn't seem like there were like almost 3 different tiers of teams, where like this year you can almost get like 4 tiers of teams. Like you have like, we know they're going to probably be in the championship game. We have the playoffs, then we have the middle, and then we just have like Cologne, Berlin, and like Farivar.
And Helvetic.
It's like, it is really broken apart because like even the bottom tier teams are destroying the lowest tier.
Well, and I wouldn't even throw Berlin in that bottom 3 tier because, I mean, we saw Berlin blow the brakes off of Cologne already this year.
That's fair. So they could be in tier 3.
Berlin's bad, like, don't get me wrong. And that's the same thing with Wrocław. Wrocław is also bad. Like, this is a team that I don't think has any hopes of making the playoffs. But, like, they're just twice the roster than Cologne is. And this is, like, even worse than what we were seeing out of Barcelona last year, I think. Like, just with how competitive – because at least Barcelona if they were playing like bottom tier teams or they were playing middling teams, they would still lose, but like it didn't look like this. It wasn't fit for playing, the teams like Munich where they would, concede at halftime.
Yeah.
But this Cologne team, man.
Barcelona had 2 wins last year.
And Cologne's not getting 2 wins.
Yeah, not even close.
No, and I mean, have they even been like within 3 touchdowns of any of their games yet?
47-15 bye week. Was it bye week? 68-0. 63-14. Nope.
Yeah, that's horrific. And then who are they playing? They're playing Stuttgart in that week's. Good luck,
That's yeah.
Playing Paris, also a horrible situation for them. They play Wrocław again at home, so Wrocław gets them at home, and if they beat them this badly away, who knows what they're
end the season with Frankfurt, Paris, Stuttgart, Tyrol.
I mean, their easiest game, I think, on the rest of the schedule is Berlin in week 9. And I mean, we've seen what they've done against Berlin.
It's not an easy game. They gave up 63.
I mean, it doesn't help that they also kind of have a rough schedule. I mean, like, they don't play any of the bottom tier teams.
No. And this is like, I mean, we've talked about it before, and before we talk about games, it's like they need to do the NFL scheduling where if you come in last in your conference, you play the other last teams. Like, you don't play all top teams. Like, that doesn't help.
Well, what also doesn't help is they keep realigning the divisions, so it's hard for them to do that. So, I mean, I liked how they did Actually, okay, maybe this is the one thing I won't give the ELF. I don't really like how they did the realignment this year because
they're pretty competitive, though. I'll give them that much.
They're competitive, but to me, like, you need to have like you're missing out on some really easy rivalries, like with their things, like. Vienna and Tyrol not being in the same division is a travesty. Just point blank. Like, that is just not okay. I also think not having Madrid and Paris in the same division, not a good call. They're very similar talent-wise. They had really good games last year. They had a playoff matchup. They're pretty close proximity-wise. Mm-hmm. Like, those are 2 teams that need to be in division together. Other than that, maybe there's not really anybody that I think like particularly needs to be in one. I think Stuttgart and Munich should also probably be in one just due to their proximity.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, I mean, you could break it up strictly based on proximity. But is Vienna and Tyrol a rivalry? I mean, they haven't beat them once.
It's not, but they're the only 2 Austrian teams, right?
No, yeah.
It's the same way like that the Raiders are rivals with the Chiefs, right? Like they have such a storied history with each other because these 2 teams used to play against each other before the ELF, right?
Yeah, they were in the AFL for a long time.
Yeah, so you have 2 AFL teams, like they should be in the same division. But I mean, that stuff doesn't particularly matter for like competitiveness of the league. What really is just hurting. I think what's really just hurting is these bottom 3 teams like Cologne, Helvetic, and Vetovar just not even having a hope of winning. It's not even like. And
what's wild is 2 of those 3 teams it goes down to the ownership. Ferivar, we've talked about, they don't have the homegrown talent. Like. They're not. I feel like they're willing to spend the money if they need to at least bring in the A's, but that's not enough. But where Cologne, you're Germany, like you can find German talent.
Oh, you can get talent. Mm-hmm.
And Helvetic, the Swiss players don't want to play for you because of the ownership.
No, it's terrible.
And luckily, they did fire the one guy that everybody really hate. The main reason Aiken didn't come back, but. They have to wait till the Swiss league is over now to get those players. And it's going to be way too late. I mean, they're already 0-4. They're out of playoff contention. But can they swing the idea of, hey, Helvetic isn't as bad as you think. We will actually pay you. Like, just kidding. You're actually getting paid now. And like,
dude,
they can be competitive.
And we're going to talk a lot of shit about front offices this episode. Like what we're already saying, like just wait until we get into what we're about to say about some of these other front offices. But that's what's so egregious to me about Helvetic is how do you let Carlton out the door? You know, like how do you not have Aiken come back and play for your franchise? Because realistically, like looking at Helvetic last year, what was the only good part about their team?
Aiken.
It was Aiken. And
what was the linebacker that retired?
Oh, yeah. Man, I don't remember his name. Spiller was also pretty good last year, too.
They had a few bright spots.
Yeah. But that's the thing is, like, if you're a GM for, like, a competent franchise, you would not have let Aiken walk out the door. You would have been like, all right, what do you need? What do you want?
What do you want? Here's a blank piece of paper.
Yeah.
And
I want to say write a blank check because, there's not a lot of money to be thrown around in this league, but like
it's the checks are, it's not the money. It's going to be the benefits of the team. That's how they get away with it. But like I met with Aiken when I was in Cincinnati one weekend during the off season, and it was when he was negotiating, and he's like, he pulled up a notepad and was like, this is what I'm asking for. And I'm like, that doesn't even seem bad.
And they didn't meet it.
A couple weeks later, he's like, yeah, I'm not playing anymore. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, how'd you go from this to that so fast? And with the Italian team folding for the year, the ELF gave Helvetic part of Italy, I think, to draw players from. Do you know how many Italians they signed? I think it's 0. Where both Austrian teams sign Italians because they're homegrown players. I could be wrong. I'm going to fact check myself real quick.
Well, but that's the issue too. Because that's what happened with the Milano Seaman last year. Is people thought with having a Italian team, right, that you would because there's actually a pretty good football culture in Italy. Like they actually do like American football. They have a respectable league. If you had an ELF team that had Italian homegrowns, it would probably be a pretty competitive roster. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't know if it would be competing for championships, but they would be putting up a fight. But the Milano Seamen were just so incompetent that nobody wanted to play for them.
Yeah. I mean, you have Jordan Blois, one of the fastest wide receivers in the ELF. Maybe not anymore with Cruikshank there, but he didn't even want to play for the Italy team.
Yeah.
But I lied. Helvetic has 2 Italians.
Okay. Well, good work, Helvetic. You're at least doing.
They could have more. They could have bring the Milano Seamen in, and you probably have a better team than your Helvetic team.
Yeah, right. It's ridiculous. And the worst part about it too is I think Helvetic's twice as good as Cologne.
Yes,
like that's
they
the most egregious
would whoop on Cologne.
I think if you had Helvetic and Cologne play each other, I don't think it would be a close game. Like I think that's how bad Cologne is.
No. They've scored twice as many points in the same amount of weeks. And have given up less.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. I mean, shout out Wrocław for getting a win, obviously. Like, it can't all be fuck Cologne. Like, Wrocław got last week. They came back. They bounced back. They got a huge win. Even if it's a give me win, even if it's against, like, non-competitive teams, you can't drop games like this, believe it or not. Like people forget these are human beings playing football. These are people who go home and have jobs. These are people who have emotions. These are all of these things, right?
Yep.
So the fact that they showed up, they got business done, they did what they needed to do it's great to see. And that's the thing is Wrocław, they're a team that has had an established ELF franchise. They're a team that I always have a little bit of belief in that they're going to figure it out, right? And it's because of games like this where even when they get punched in the mouth, they still go out and they still take care of business. And it shows that they're a respectable franchise. Like, yeah, their teams might not be competitive all the time. They might have a slew of quarterback problems, but they do what they need to do.
Yeah. I really think like if they had, I mean, their GM does well. They have a good team, but they just seem to keep missing one thing. Like their homegrowns can compete. Their defense is usually one of the best. Their offense is usually pretty good. Why aren't they winning?
Yeah. And And I don't know. I think it might come down a little bit to coaching for Poland. Like, he's honestly, that's the thing, is even with their A imports, like, I mean, they have AJ Wetland, dude. Or is
They have AJ Wetland, Devin Burrell, Darrell Stewart, and DJ Irons.
Yeah, like those are good A imports.
Those are like 4 great players.
Yeah. And like people are low on DJ Irons in like the ELF community, but like if you watch DJ Irons play, like that guy knows, like he has athleticism, he can get things done. And yeah, he might not be the best of the best in the the ELF sphere, right? But he's definitely good enough to at least get you a playoff spot. But But this team is just like, it just doesn't happen for them. And it's not like they're in a particularly tough division either. It's like, yeah, you got to play Vienna twice. But dude, you get Prague, you get Vedovar, you get Berlin.
You get 4 free wins to try to fight for a wild card spot.
Yeah.
No one else does.
Yeah, exactly. Like the fact that they lost so bad to Prague, it's like, you're the better team. Like, well, you at least should be the better team. I mean, Prague proved they're the better team. They are.
It goes down to your scouting too. Like, what imports do you bring in? It's like,
yeah,
I don't know who's scouting for Wrocław. We know who's scouting for Prague, and we see in the Prague turnaround. Yeah, it's only week 4, but they're looking a lot better than they were last year.
I mean, they doubled their wins.
Yeah, literally, and they have a positive point differential, which I don't think they did last year.
No. Well, that's the thing, dude, is you look at Prague this year, I actually am willing to pick Prague in games. Like, I'm willing to sit there and say, yeah, I think Prague could win.
It'll come up later, but I think everyone took Prague this week.
Did all 3 of us do it?
I think so.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
They're playing Hamburg, so I mean.
But still, like last year, we would have never picked Prague over Hamburg.
No.
Never.
We would have only taken Prague over Farivar last year.
And that was their only win.
Did.
I might have, because I like
go back and look at our pick'ems. I think I still have the graphics, but it's like we might have like done something stupid and be like, oh, well, it's a 50-50. Like, let's just take this one.
Yeah, for sure.
But
well, speaking of Hamburg, you wanna talk about?
Like I should get a mulligan for my pick because I didn't know they didn't have a quarterback until Saturday morning.
And that's also a big issue. And again, it's a smaller league, so you're not going to see it as much as like you're going to see with a major competitive league, right? Like that's the thing with the NFL. If you got Twitter on your phone, like you're gonna know what's going on in the NFL sphere, right? Like that's just how it operates. The ELF, it's a little bit more difficult than that, but like they gotta let people know what's going on.
Especially if you're going to get into the betting world, especially the fantasy world. People picked Talia to be their fantasy quarterback, and then you locked the lineup so you couldn't change them.
Yes. I'll give you a goose egg, if you put them in.
Yeah, and it's like you're not just competing for fun. You have prizes on the line. Like you can actually earn stuff. So it's like it hurts people to do that. And like, if you want to be a competent league, you need to release the injury reports at the right time. You need to issue just transactions overall early in the week. Like you can't just wait until Friday night and be like, oh, guess what? This guy isn't playing tomorrow. Good luck.
I mean, they need like that's the crazy part about the ELF is they need like a Schefter. Like they need like somebody they employ that's going to be dropping news. Like. Yeah, I mean, we get that a little bit with Mao Chow, but like
we get news before it comes out. We're not allowed to say anything.
Yeah,
like we have to wait until the ELF says it before we can comment on it, even though we knew 2 days before. But to everybody else, like that, it doesn't make sense. Like why? We're trying to help you grow the league and make it more visible. Let us just say what we hear. Like, who cares where we hear it from? If we're wrong, we're wrong. Like that, it happens. Schefter's wrong sometimes.
But it's good to at least have somebody that can like give a hint of what's going on, right?
Yeah. Like, oh, there's disputes with Talia. Like maybe he won't be there.
Well, that's the thing is like what I saw earlier today. We know about somebody's IR status. And I've been seeing everybody like saying, is this guy injured or what's going on? And most fans of the ELF don't know what's going on with these players. And that sucks as a casual fan. You want to know. Like if somebody's been elevated to IR, like it should be told to it should be common knowledge.
And I think they have started announcing it on Wednesday this year, I believe. But I still don't think it's very consistent with every team.
No, I don't think it is either.
But last year, it didn't seem like there was any consistency until they released the final lineup an hour before the game, and you're like, hey, where's this guy at?
Yeah, that was brutal.
But, there's certain people that we know that will be playing this week and that they won't be playing this week, and it's not public knowledge yet, which is wild.
No, and again, what really makes it that disappointing is like I said, there's now trying to do fantasy football, right? That gives us who are, a little bit more tapped in, and not even like just that we're tapped in, it's just that we're content creators. We just get like an inherently competitive advantage in those things because it's like, all right, well, I know who's injured this week. I mean, I can't tell our fan base. I can't tell any of y'all who's injured, but I know.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating. I hope they'll change it going forward. Because again, like we're not going to be, the Schefters of the ELF, but let Mal Chow be. Like let him tweet out the stuff that he hears. Let him do that stuff,
He gets everything anyways. Like he knows.
Yeah.
But hey, the Rhine Fire stopped their 2-game losing streak.
No, I understand why you picked Hamburg. Like I get it, and especially before Tonga Viola left, like there definitely was a shot. It's just one of those things where it's like I've been saying the whole offseason, what I've been saying into this season. Like even though Rhine has been taking a lot of punches this year and they've been having a lot of difficulty, they're still so well run that they're not going to drop games like this, especially when the other team makes such a massive blunder like the Hamburg Sea Devils did. But I think even if they did have Tonga Vailoa in, I think the game would have been closer. But I mean, Ryan won by 43. I still think they probably would have won by 14,
Well, how many picks did Mac had 3 picks, didn't he?
He had 4.
Yeah. Tua's not throwing, or Talia's not throwing 4 picks.
No, he's definitely not. But I mean, this Ryan defense is formidable. It's a really good unit, and I think Hamburg would have struggled regardless against Ryan, especially in Ryan.
Yeah,
that's not an easy place to play in.
Yeah. But no, yeah, and it's just like it's easy to game plan, especially when hey, we're only going to run the ball straight up the middle.
Yeah. And hey, credit to Hamburg's rushing game. I mean, 5-yard average from what is it, Kaye?
Kaye.
Yeah.
They only had 1 A import on the field on their offense all game,
which is brutal. I mean, that's
you're using a homegrown quarterback. You have Nazir Streeter on your team. He's a freak athlete. Why aren't you using him?
Yeah, I mean, might as well, right? Like, you got to at least do something.
Yeah, I heard rumors that they had specific packages that included Nazir Streeter. You lost 43-0, and you tell me you didn't use a special package?
Dude, wait. Have you read Mac's stat line?
It's horrible. He had negative yards or something.
He went 2 for 12 for 7 yards and 4 picks.
Yeah. And he had negative yards at one point for the longest time.
What a way to set up a guy for failure, dude. I mean, their receiving yards. Dude, Robinson had 1 reception for 13 yards, and Kaye had 1 for -6.
Yes. And you're telling me that you couldn't get to your special package to use 2A imports on offense with a 2 for 12 and 4 picks quarterback?
Holy shit, man.
Run a wildcat all game.
Yeah, do
Have
something.
Tyrion Robinson and Nazir Streeter with Crispin Kai in the backfield. That would confuse some defenses, at least for a drive or two.
Yeah, they at least have to figure out what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they figure it out, but still, like,
But if you're having Mack in there, especially with the Ryan Fire secondary, no, sorry, German quarterbacks, no German quarterback is going to beat that secondary.
no.
Import quarterbacks barely do.
I think it's ballsy of the Hamburg Sea Devils offense to even attempt to throw it 12 times, by the way. Like, in this situation, he should have been like 1 for 4. Like, that should have been his stat line. Should have been 1 for 4 for -6 with 0 picks.
Well,
like, that's how I would have game planned this game, you know?
What's wild is Jeffries only had 17 attempts.
Yeah, because, dude, the Hamburg Sea Devils were doing everything for him. Like,
Yeah. And Jonathan Scott
didn't have
was
to do
like, I'm going to
shit.
go for 12 and a half yards a carry. It's fine.
Dude, Jeffries even threw a pick. like that's what worries me about Hamburg going forward, man, is like, I don't know what is Hamburg going to do this season? Like,
Hopefully their quarterback comes off IR soon.
yeah,
Because Michael Leon looked good week 1 before he got hurt.
he did.
But, yeah, they're kind of screwed.
Yeah, and it sucks too, because Hamburg, like, I feel Hamburg, it's the same situation as Wrocław. They're one of like the original 8 teams. I feel the same way about both of them, right? Wrocław was an original 8, right?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, Wrocław, Hamburg, and Cologne. All original teams. And Berlin.
Yeah.
Original teams.
And 3 of them suck.
Yeah. And then 2 of them are folded and 2 are championship contenders this year.
Yeah. But that's Hamburg is the same thing as Wrocław. Like, at least they have something going. But I am really worried about the rest of this year and especially next year for Hamburg, because like what they did this week, like I don't have a lot of faith in that front office moving forward, with how they're going to handle situations. And
No,
that's the difference in football. If I don't have faith in your front office, I don't trust your team to do much, you know? And you know it as a Cincinnati fan, man. Like,
thanks. You could have said Cleveland. You could have said Cleveland.
yeah, well, okay, Cleveland is worse.
I know.
But Cleveland should have, Cleveland folded for a few years there. You know? But but you have the first-hand experience. Like, you know when your front office won't pay their fucking rookie, you're sitting there, you're looking at the season, you're like, yeah, we'll go out there and play football. I don't know what we'll do. Hey, we'll play all 17 games at least.
Yeah. Oh, but Berlin Fairvard, it's good job, Berlin. You beat a bad team. Good job. Honestly,
shout out Fairvard for putting up 21 points.
That's solid. They're competable. Like, they can compete.
Yeah.
But are the Nordic Storm overrated? Let me tell you something. They whooped on Frankfurt.
I'm so glad I fought a lot of demons, dude. I had the Green Goblin mask talking to me all week, and it was telling me, it was like, pick Frankfurt. But I was like, nope, they're playing in Copenhagen. Nordic's a lot better than I've given them credit for this year. But I really want to do it. I was like, Frankfurt could do it. But no, they could not.
Also, shout out or about fighting demons. Let me start there. Shout out Frankfurt for competing in this game with food poisoning. Like, half their team had food poisoning.
Which, who's getting fired for that, right? Yeah. Like, what happened?
I don't know if it was like the McDonald's they stopped at beforehand or what, or the hotel. Maybe Jadrian Clark just like slipped something to the hotel like restaurant manager and was like, hey, hear me out.
That's crazy, dude.
But also, second thing, shout out Nordic Storm. A full color midfield logo? We haven't seen that outside of Rhine.
I know.
Shout out Nordic, paint the field. End zones still lack a little color, but they're getting there. They had
Yeah,
text at least.
we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah, the
that's
fields
all
are
that matters.
looking better this year. Hamburg has a field. Wroclaw has a field. Even Cologne has a field with 2 logos.
Yep.
Nordic, Munich, the Raiders, Vienna, like Madrid.
Yeah, no, I mean, once they get the end zones, man, we're going to be in a good spot because the end zones are horrible.
The only team really without a field is Helvetic because they're just playing on that turf soccer field, and it's just gross.
To add more to the Helvetic issues.
Shit show, yeah. But
No, I mean, shout out Nordic. They're definitely not overrated, like people have been saying. Nordic is a championship contender. I don't feel comfortable picking them to win it all yet, just because of the freaking Vienna Vikings and the way they look. And I also still really believe in Stuttgart this year. But I mean, they're either going to be in the conference championship or they're going to be in the championship. You know, they're in one of those 2 games.
yeah, I like my prediction of a Vienna Nordic championship game.
Yeah, you're locking it in.
I've been saying it for a while. No reasons behind those 2 teams, but
Yeah, oh, of course.
definitely no reason.
I still believe in Stuttgart.
I like Stuttgart. I think it's gonna come down to those 3 teams.
Yeah, I think Stuttgart's going to find a way. I think Frankfurt's going to fuck around and get pretty far in the playoffs too. I don't know if they're going to make it to the championship game, but I think Frankfurt has a chance to make it to the conference championship.
I really hope it's a Vienna, Frankfurt, Nordic, Stuttgart semifinal. I would hate to see Vienna and Nordic in the semifinal against each other. And Vienna, Stuttgart, just because it's like a championship game.
Yeah.
Like, I want one of the not of the top 3 teams against the number 1 team. And I don't know how their playoff scheduling is just weird.
No, I mean, we're going to have a better idea of it when we get further into the season. But I mean, like I said, Vienna, Nordic, Vienna, Nordic, Stuttgart, one of those.
Paris is on a bye week. They're sitting at 2-2.
No, I mean, Paris could get it too. I mean, the wins that Paris have had this year have been insanely impressive. So
yeah. But Munich, don't need to talk about them. They look solid. Defense looks good. Offense is rolling. Game of the week, Madrid versus Tyrol. Madrid made a comeback that fell 3 feet short.
Yeah, Madrid's. Going into this week, I had very little confidence in Madrid. I was just picking them because I thought they were that much of a favorite over Tyrol, even though the betting line wasn't a favorite. Just in my head, I was like, I don't see Tyrol's defense stopping that offense. Like, I just thought that Madrid was just going to score over and over again. They were going to score at will, and it was going to be demoralizing for Tyrol, which was not the case at all for pretty much the first half of this game.
Yeah.
Like, the Tyrol defense did their job, and the Madrid defense showed exactly why we think they're one of the worst defenses in the league, because they couldn't stop shit. They were absolutely terrible, and especially against the run, like, Madrid will never be able to stop the run. And that's why they play Frankfurt again this year. They're not stopping Platzskummer. Like,
Platzskummer over 200 yards.
Yeah, it's just like they can't beat. And that's what sucks about this Madrid team is their offense. It's the same thing you're used to. Their offense is phenomenal, but that defense is actually detrimental. And I think even if they had an average defense, I think you'd say, okay, Madrid can make it to conference championship. Even with just an average defense, you could sit there and be like, okay, they could beat anybody on any given Sunday, right?
And they signed a D lineman before the game the other day who played in college, forget where. And then I think he came off the field in like 5 snaps. I think he got hurt. I could be wrong though. One of their D linemen got hurt for Madrid. But still, yeah, I mean, if you can't stop the run, you're not going to do anything. They'll just grind do all day, any team.
And a lot of teams are capable of doing that. Like, there's a lot of teams that are capable of that. And that's the thing is,
will.
And what I will say about Madrid is they should have won this game still. Even despite all of that, they had the opportunity with the game on the line, and they decided to do a draw play with Molina up the middle.
You have Reed Sinnett and Aaron Cruikshank. Cruikshank is unguardable. You saw it from the play before. It was a screen pass that he took to the end zone.
Well, and the issue before that too is I think there was 2 throws because that was third down that they did it. I think the first and second down of that goal line, like Sinnett just missed open guys. Like he got pressured on that second down and he panicked and he just threw it away, even though he had a guy wide open right in front of him. And so that's the thing is they were going to score at will, but they decided to get cute and they're like, well, they know we're going to throw it, so we're just going to run it. No,
The
have
Vikings or the Austrian teams are built in the trenches, both of them. That is how they're designed. It's hard to run against either Austrian team.
And Tyrol, like, even if they weren't expecting you to run it, they're still going to have guys in the trenches. And, like, all respect to the Madrid O-line, they're really not that great. Like, they're not bad. They're not, like, one of the worst O-lines in the league. They're definitely far from it. But, like, the Tyrol D-line is going to win every time. So doing a draw play up the middle with Molina was actually just punting the game. Like, I don't get why any offensive coordinator in that situation would sit there and say, yeah, this is how we win the game. We're going to try to trick them. No, literally you throw to the corner of the end zone. I mean, you have Cruikshank run into just go out, like literally just run an out route into the end zone anywhere, whether it's the front of the end zone, back of the end zone, anything. Just he's going to be faster than the other guy. And
just have him run across the field, run a slant, full speed across the field, and do a bootleg rollout with Sinnett to that same side. You can't guard Cruikshank. He's too fast. And also, Cruikshank was their leading rusher. Molina was averaging 2 yards a carry.
So yeah, if you want to get cute and do a handoff, then get cute and give a handoff to freaking Cruikshank.
Do a jet sweep. He could probably beat anybody to the corner. It's 2 yards. He could dive if he needed to.
No, it was absolutely criminal. Like just a criminal display at the end of that game. And that's the thing. I don't like
that
they needed this win.
The playoffs.
No, I think Madrid's going to be Madrid's not going to make the playoffs, and you're going to look back and be like, well, why not? And it's because of this game. They have a terrible – I mean, we looked at the beginning and we're like, oh, well, Madrid actually has a really easy conference and a really easy schedule. Like, they're definitely going to make the playoffs. This isn't an easy division, like, by any means. And if you can't beat Tyrol, like, you needed this game. Like, I don't have faith in them beating Tyrol next time. I don't have faith in them beating Frankfurt the next time they play them. And I really don't have faith against them beating Munich. So
that Munich defense is good.
And that's the thing is, like, at this stage, I think Madrid might go like 6-6. I don't even think they're going to be close to making it into the playoffs.
They needed this game.
Whereas I would be looking at it much differently. If Madrid is 4-1 right now after beating Tyrol, I would say, yeah, they still are the favorites to win their division.
They control their destiny.
But no, I have zero faith in them. And it sucks because I mean, they're my team, but
and they have, depending on what Hamburg does the next 2 weeks, because Madrid's on bye, their easiest games are they play Fairvar and Helvetic one more time each, and they play Hamburg again. But then they got Munich twice, the Raiders, and Frankfurt to end the season.
No, and that's why I'm saying I see 6-6. I don't see them beating any of those 3 teams. Realistically, I don't think their defense is up to par enough to do that.
From going to championship talk before week 1 to 6-6,
it's ridiculous. I mean, look at Prague's schedule. They could have the same record as Prague at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Like, I know 6-6 is a lot to ask for Prague, but I mean, look at Prague's upcoming weeks, and I think Prague could fuck around and get 6-6. You know,
it's wild, and it's all their pass defense is fine. If you could just stop the run, bring in whoever you need to stop the run, and you can make a playoff run. But if you can't stop the run, you're not going to do anything in this league.
Nope. You don't stand a chance.
They will just run it down your throat 40 times because they have 4 running backs on every team that can run a ball.
Yep.
But at least it was a really good game. Good comeback. Fell a little short.
No, it was a great game. It was a really fun game. The issue is just it was one of the situations where it's so frustrating to watch because there's a team that obviously should have won it and they just didn't do it. And maybe that's just me rooting for Madrid, and that's why I'm so upset about it. But
they should have won. They should.
Yeah.
It should be Tyrol should be 2-3 right now.
No, absolutely. Well, do we want to move into awards or do we want to move into pick'ems?
Let's do awards. We can skip stats. We talked a lot longer than we
Anticipated. Well, we had a lot to say about some front office.
We still have more.
Yeah.
Oh. But unsung hero of the week played for the Rhine Fire this week. Let me pull up his box score. Mr. Tony Anderson, number 0, 10 tackles, 1 of them for a loss, 2 picks, and 2 pass breakups.
Yeah, great game.
Wait, no. I lied. Tony Anderson's not unsung.
Okay. I was confused. I was like, okay, you're throwing a curveball on me, but I'll roll with it. I was like, you're the...
No. Oops. My apologies. Played for one of the undefeated teams. We talked a lot about this a lot today, and I'm very confused. Mr. The Max Parkinson, the D-line for the Nordic Storm. That is our unsung hero of the week. Stat line doesn't show how dominant he was. He only had 3 tackles. He had 1 sack, 2 tackle for loss, and 1 pass breakup. But he wreaked havoc all game against arguably the best offensive line in the league and helped shut out the Frankfurt Galaxy, who were averaging, I think, 36 points a game before this.
No, I mean, the fact that Frankfurt got shut out in a game is insanely impressive. And, I mean, you can put a lot of that credit on Parkinson for what happened in this game.
Yeah. He caused pressure. I don't know if either pick were caused because of pressures he had. I didn't dig that far into it. But McKay had 2 picks. That goes down to some D-line with pressure. I know one of them was a roll, like he had to roll out and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But Max Parkinson is on a tear to start the season. Leads the league in sacks. Just an absolute animal.
No, I mean, it's a major reason why Nordic is so good this year. Like
their defense is great. Week 1, we were questioning it because Helvetic was kind of running all over him. But they changed something into week 2 and have been on a tear.
Well, yeah, I mean, week 1 gaslit me. I genuinely thought Nordic was going to have a bad defense this year. Well, not like a bad, but like a below average defense. Yeah. I thought they weren't going to be able to do much, but I would argue they're one of the top defensive units in the league.
Well, it's really funny as we say that, but they only gave up 12 points. But it was almost 300 yards of offense, and Isaiah Weed was just running all over them.
Yeah, and that's why I thought, DJ Irons to be the better athlete, like we were going to see something even more egregious, but that obviously didn't happen. And yeah, I mean, this Frankfurt offense, let me look at Nordic's schedule again, but I think this might be the best offense they've played. Because they played Helvetic, they're definitely played Wrocław, they played Berlin. I mean, Berlin's got a pretty good offense, but not nearly as good as Frankfurt.
No, they'll be able to shut down Berlin pretty well.
Yeah, and then a week 4 bye. So yeah, no, this is by far the best offense they played. So the fact that this is the team they shut out is insane.
Yeah, and to get shut out in this league is hard. Cologne didn't even get shut out.
No, hey, they got a field goal.
But we had 2 shutouts this week. Wild. But you want to announce the big dog?
Yeah, so we were talking a little bit about Wrocław. gave a little preview of this big dog pick, and safe to say, to some of the guys in the ELF sphere that we talked to, they were not happy that this is who we were picking.
They said it was because of the talent they played.
Yes, which I will give them some credence. There is a little bit of a talent discrepancy between these two teams, but to be in this situation for DJ Irons, I mean, we had to give it to him, right? He had a egregious week last week, and to respond by getting 5 total touchdowns. I mean, he was 19 for 26, 205 yards, 4 touchdowns. I mean, that's almost a perfect passer rating. He had 4 touchdowns to 6 incompletions. He had 9 blown defense, and he was playing efficiently. He didn't make very many mistakes. No picks, no sacks, no nothing. I mean, it's a complete 180 from what we saw from him last week. And honestly, it was the best stat-wise quarterback performance of the week for a winner. So how do you not give it to DJ Irons?
And we're agreeing big dog only goes to winners, right? Can't have a loser big dog.
Absolutely.
We had other contenders. They just happened to be on the losing.
But here's the thing is you got to get in the win column. That's the big issue. And yes, like you can obviously, have an insane performance and your team still loses, but that player is still pissed off by their performance because their team didn't win regardless. I don't care what league you're in. I don't care what level of professionalism you're playing. If you're playing a team sport and you walk away without a loss, you're not sitting there like, well, I had 3 touchdowns. That was pretty cool. No, you're
Antonio Brown, but that's a different story.
I mean, he was still pretty pissed, but he was pissed all the time. So
yeah.
I don't know how often that man was happy.
That's fair.
But I mean, huge shout out to DJ Irons. A lot of people are going to talk a lot of shit still, but I mean, like I said, these are still human beings you're dealing with. The fact that, you had probably the worst week of your ELF career, then you turned around and have probably the best week of your ELF career, that takes a lot of willpower, and that's, really cool to see.
And it's only fitting that DJ Irons goes from Mr. Fiasco to Big Dog of the Week.
Yeah, exactly. He's a polarizing player. So, Of course, you're going to get the highs and the lows.
He's what the league needs. Like a little bit of a villain.
A little bit. But
we got the superhero with like Reed Sinnett being all clean cut and shaved and everything. And then you got DJ Irons, who's a little more out there.
Yeah.
A little opposite.
But you know what, DJ Irons, you're always a friend of the show. We still would love to have you on to talk shit about us giving you Mr. Fiasco, despite us also appeasing you by giving you Big Dog. But dude, we would love to have you on to talk shit about us and, help run the narrative that you are, we said earlier that maybe you're not one of the best in the ELF, but maybe we can help run a narrative that you are one of the best in the ELF, especially if you keep having performances like this.
You crawl your way back into the playoff picture.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough for a road
They're
swap.
only a game back. I mean, it's early.
It's early enough, yeah.
It's not impossible.
No, definitely not.
From when we are recording this, the poll for Mr. Fiasco on our Instagram is live. If you don't know, every Monday we put a poll that you guys can vote for Mr. Fiasco of the Week. We give you 3 options in an other column. This week, we have Keelan Cole, Matthew McKay, and the entire Hamburg Sea Devils front office. The entire Hamburg Sea Devil front office is currently winning with 67% of the votes.
It's gone up since you checked. They're at 68 now.
68% of the votes.
So this is why, we were debating on if we should talk about it. But when I got home and I looked at the results and with, over 100 votes, I was like, you know what? I think we could probably give it to the Sea Devils front office.
I honestly threw that on there as a joke. I didn't think people were going to vote for it. I thought they would vote for the player.
Well,
and I was wrong.
And as much as I would love to give it to a player, because that's kind of the whole point, is, we want to give it to the players. We've gone off base a little bit. We've given it to an O-line already, and now we're about to give it to a front office. Yeah. But what the fuck are you doing, Hamburg? How does Tagovailoa leave the building? What did you do in the 2 weeks that he was there that he said, nope, fuck this, I'm done. I'm not doing it anymore.
And after a win. It's not like he had 2 losses. He had a win in there.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And what the early reports are is that it's family related, right? And
everything is family related. This league says nothing but family, which it does happen.
But I highly doubt it. I mean, that's where I'm at with it. I just don't think that Tagovailoa would have made the move from Hawaii all the way out to Europe for 2 weeks, right? I think he genuinely wanted to play football again. I think he thought he was going to sign up for an okay franchise that was going to put something around him where he was going to be able to give himself some more film and maybe get like a CFL contract, right? I imagine that's where his mindset was going, which to his credit is not a bad path of line of thinking, right? You put up good stats in college, you can go play for a team in Europe, put up some good stats, go play in the CFL. You do well enough in the CFL, you're landing a UFL spot, right? It's a sound strategy. But the thing is he walked into the Hamburg shit show. So he was looking at that, and he got pushed out there, and a week they had to play Stuttgart, and he didn't look great. And it sucks, but I mean, you had to play arguably the best defense in the league in your first week. But then he puts up another good performance, and how do you not keep him? That's what I don't understand is I don't know if he just realized he's well, shit, I made a huge mistake. The ELF is not where I'm putting together good film. It's not where I can show my talent. This isn't going to help me get a CFL spot. And I don't even know if it's even harder than I thought, but just the fact that it's one of those things where it's does this really help his odds to get to where he wants to be, right?
No.
And I think what he saw from those first 2 weeks in Hamburg, and again, I can't say for sure because I haven't talked to the guy, but from what it looks like and what it seems like is he walked in there, did those 2 weeks, and it was I'm not putting together good enough film to get anything out of this, right? My team is not competitive enough. I'm not going to put up together a good enough stat line to get some interest. I'm just going to go back and do private workouts in Hawaii and hope that a CFL team's hey, let's take a chance on a Tagovailoa, right?
Hamburg had to have thought they were keeping him long term. They made custom shirts for him. You could buy a custom Tagovailoa shirt. They're not going to make that if they know he's leaving in 2 weeks.
Yeah. So how do you not keep him, right? You're setting that up. If Tagovailoa walks into the front office and says, hey, I got some family stuff back in Hawaii, I need to go. Hey, how about we put you on IR? We'll pay you the whole time you're there, right? Something like that. If I'm the GM, Tagovailoa is not going back to fucking Hawaii, man.
If he's missing his girlfriend or if he's married a wife, fly her to Hamburg.
Yeah. Germany's cool.
His parents free Hamburg. Tua could take his private jet to Hamburg.
You guys think about kids? It's going to cost a hell of a lot less here than it is in America.
Tua's worth how much money? His fan. It's not like his brother doesn't have money.
No, and that's the thing is that's how you just have to sell it. Okay, you're missing your whatever. There's something family-wise going on. Like I said, put him on IR. We're going to put you on IR. We're going to pay for you the entire time. We're going to take care of you. We want you back, right?
Yeah.
Whatever he wanted, man. If he was
someone texted us and said, just blackmail him. Just find anything on him that he can't leave.
You don't have to blackmail. You just bribe him.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to sleep with this woman? We'll figure it out. You want to do this drug? We'll find a way, right? You're a professional sports team. You figure this shit out, right? You find ways to keep that guy in the building because to Tagovailoa's credit, he was not that bad. He didn't look good against Stuttgart, but he looked great last week.
Yeah. It's like free agent signings. You see reports and the entire comment section is don't let him leave the building. Do not let him leave. It's exact same thing. Don't let Tua or Talia get on a flight back to the United States. Shut down the airport.
So it's like an insanely idiotic situation from Hamburg. And that's the thing is they're going to say, oh, well, there was no way for us to keep him, blah, 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 blah. There absolutely was a way that you could have figured something out. And the fact that you put all your marbles into this and it fails, and you put all this marketing into it and it fails, and then now you're back in the same situation, and now I'm looking at your roster and I'm like, you're screwed. You're not doing anything this year. Because when they signed Tunga Vailoa, I was like, all right, maybe Hamburg will make the playoffs.
They're a solid quarterback away from being competent.
No, I love that defense still.
But competent.
They got Kyle Kitchens, dude.
And Nazir Streeter.
Like, you got –
it's like –
dude, you got players. You got players on that team.
Guy.
And you can't keep Tunga Vailoa? Like, you can't keep him in the building and just be like, hey, man, like, it's not looking good this year, but, next year we're going to bring in you this, like, insane wide receiver. Something, right? You reach out to – you go to Cruikshank, and you're messaging Cruikshank right now, and you're saying, hey, man, you're not signing with Madrid next season. You're coming here, and you're going to play with Tunga Vailoa, right? Like, that's what you do, but – it just seems like organizational incompetence to not have that guy still on your roster.
It goes all the way back to the beginning. Your quarterback goes on IR. You need a dude for 4 weeks. Your dude comes in a week late. You use him for 2, and he's not even there for the 4th.
Yep.
Did you not talk about that beforehand? It's like, hey, we need you for at least 4 weeks. Can you do that? Yes or no?
Yeah. Like that's the most ridiculous part about it too. Yeah, like you don't even have him set up for when your other quarterback returns. Like, are you kidding me? How did you not get that written in a contract somewhere that we at least need you to play this amount of weeks?
Until our quarterback comes off IR, you have to be here. That should have been the first line of his contract.
Yep. 100%.
But there's plenty of other quarterbacks that they could go find.
Yeah. You reach out to any American QB that's just sitting on a couch right now and be like, hey, we need you for 4 weeks. We'll pay you for the 4 weeks. Get you a free flight to Europe. You want to hang out in Hamburg for a couple of weeks? We're not that far from Copenhagen. You can go.
Free food, free place to stay, free flights, and football.
Yep. We just need you for 4 weeks. And guarantee you would have been in a great situation.
Yeah.
But they couldn't pull it off. And instead they let Tunga Vailoa walk out of the building, and there's still no future in Hamburg.
No, which is wild. So that's why you're most likely going to be Mr. Fiasco of the week.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's most likely. I mean, the poll's at 80-something%.
They're going to be
70%. Like,
yeah.
All right. Well, you want to move into pick'ems?
Quick fire pick'ems, because we're at an hour.
Yeah, let's do it.
Helvetic against the Raiders.
Give me the Raiders. We saw against Madrid, the run game. Helvetic's not competitive.
This week it seems pretty simple. There's only a couple games that could kind of go either way. But Wroclaw visiting Copenhagen.
Again, in Copenhagen, completely different tier of team. We saw them already play, and this time Nordic's not having to play away. It's going to be Nordic.
Nordic all day. Rheinfire in Vienna.
If this was the opposite, I would be like, Rhine just had a big win. Maybe you can see something from Rhine. But it's in Vienna. Rhine still lost their head coach, their OC that left?
Both?
Yeah, they lost both their guys. Vienna's going to win this one.
And coming off the bye week.
And it's crazy enough, I don't even think it's going to be like a close game. I think Vienna's going to win by at least 10.
Probably. Then what should be the game of the week? At least one of them. Frankfurt at Paris. Frankfurt beat them before.
Let me see what I picked again real quick, just to make sure I'm not talking out of my ass. So you go first.
I like Paris coming off the bye. I don't think they'll let what happened last time happen again, where they had the win in the bag with 13 seconds left, and then Frankfurt pulled some Kansas City magic out of their butt.
See, I followed a similar logic from what it looked like what I sent you. So, yes, I also am going Paris. I couldn't remember if I wanted to take the upset with Frankfurt. But, yeah, I mean, in Paris, I have more confidence, especially coming off a bye. I think if it wasn't coming off a bye, I can see Frankfurt being pissed and being like, we got to bounce back. Like, we just got smacked in the mouth. Like, we can't let that happen.
And
again.
What's wild is the loser of this game could miss the playoffs.
100%.
So, yeah. But then what some may call an upset may not call an upset. Prague at Hamburg.
Hey, we already talked about it earlier, but give me Prague. I mean,
give me Prague. They're rolling.
All the things we saw from Hamburg, Prague is actually looking competent. I mean, Hamburg's a mess. I think Prague's going to walk in there. And honestly, I think they're going to win by the same thing I said about Vienna. I think they're going to win by at least 10 points. I don't think it's going to be particularly close.
I could see a 10. I could see a 10-point win. Touchdown and field goal. But yeah, Prague's defense looking good. Willie Patterson looked real good.
Yeah.
So yeah. 3-1 Munich Ravens against the 2-3 Berlin Thunder.
This one's not going to be close, unfortunately. Berlin's a team that, like, sometimes they have some flashes. Sometimes they're doing some things that are kind of fun. Munich is a very solid roster, and Munich is a playoff team this year. So Munich, I think, is going to win this one pretty handily. Yeah,
I like Munich's defense. I don't think they'll let Sullivan throw for a bunch of yards. Give me Munich. Then this one, Stuttgart gets 2 bye weeks in a row. Cologne at Stuttgart.
Hey, maybe Riley Hennessy can be a big dog this week, you know?
Hopefully, that'd be fun.
You know, we'll start having people do betting lines on our on who's going to be big dog, and they're just going to have to see who plays Cologne. Oh, God.
That's funny.
Awesome.
Yeah, well, quick games. We're all the same.
Yeah, we're in the similar. I think Jordan pretty much picked everything the same as well, but I think he's taking the upset over Rhine. Yes, he's taking Rhine over Vienna, and everything else is the same. So
wild that he's just a Vienna hater, and I don't get it.
It's because of you.
I know.
It's solely because of you.
It's ridiculous.
All right, well, thank you, everybody, for watching. Once again, we are the Fourth Down Fiasco. As always, make sure to listen to us across all audio platforms. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We have a YouTube. Please go subscribe to our YouTube. We are going to be putting more and more content as we get through. Hopefully, I will start getting free time in my personal life because I really want to start making content for our YouTube because I feel like there's a lot of ideas that we have that are going to be really fun. And especially as we get more player interviews, that's where all that content's going to be. So please subscribe. Our thing is Fourth Down Fiasco. It's going to be at Fourth Down Fiasco as well on Instagram and TikTok. Our TikTok's been also kind of quiet, but I've had some ideas for maybe some things we could do on TikTok to get that rolling again. And then, unfortunately, since Twitter has terrible handle rules, we are not Fourth Down Fiasco. We are Fourth Down _pod on Twitter.
Yay.
Don't get confused. Make sure to check out all of those platforms. We always appreciate everything you do for, listening to us and supporting our content. We all appreciate it. And as always, make sure to leave 5 stars on our Spotify as well, because it really does help.
Yes. And I see how many people view our Instagram channel in the last 30 days. There were 80,000 people that looked at our Instagram channel, our Instagram page in the last 30 days. If you're one of those and you're not following, follow us so you don't miss something. You don't have to rely on Matt. You don't have to rely on First Down Meg. You don't have to rely on Alex. You don't rely on Jamal to get you our information. Just follow our page. It's free. You just click follow. Doesn't do much.
Absolutely. And I'm seeing handles that are looking at everything we post, but you're not following our page for whatever reason. It really does help us a lot. Like any sort of things we can get just to further, play into these different social media platforms and algorithms and all of that. So please make sure to follow across all of our platforms. Again, and also same on Spotify. It also helps you follow on Spotify. Like I said, the 5 stars really helps there too. Subscribing to our YouTube helps. Any of those things is a massive help to all 3 of us, and we would all appreciate it.
Yep. And if you have any ideas for content, reach out to us. Pitch it.
Or if you want to talk shit, reach out to us.
Or if you just want to talk shit.
We will always respond. We're not going to sit there and not respond. You might get a different one of us.
Talk shit.
You might be different one of us responding each time, but we will always respond. So
You'll know who responds, though. We won't tell you who, but you'll know.
yeah, you'll figure it out.
But on that note, thanks for listening. See you next week. Go Teams.
Hugs and kisses.
Well, I like school, and I like football, and I'm gonna keep doing them both because they make me feel good.